You dig it. That's the other famous line from the Warriors. In case anyone doesn't know, that's right, folks. We are just a little over a week away from Super Bowl 60. The New England Patriots making their way out to the Bay Area for their 12th big game appearance. Obviously, a lot is going on. You're inundated with information. You're soaking with statistics, but you just want to know what's going on, where's everyone at, and what do I need to know next week? Well, your old pals Fitzy and Mego are here with a little stage setter for Super Bowl 60 week 6, maybe soon, 7 ring style. Here we go.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. It's all about winning, all right? Winning on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
Celebrating the heroes of Foxborough's past.
And with a good block. Look at Grover. All the way. Watch the block of number 73, John Hanna.
The champions of the dynastic era.
Adam Vinatieri moves a 48-yard field goal, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
The Patriots of tomorrow.
We're going to remove entitlement from our football team. We're going to earn the right to be here every single day.
And the fans whose faith never wavers. This is 6 Rings and Football Things.
Hard.
I know.
Good God.
Hey, listen to me. Look at me. It's going to be hard. But look, this will be the most rewarding 6.5 minutes of our lives if we can get it done. You know what I mean?
That clip right there from the AFC Championship, 10-7. Pats obviously setting the stage for them to be in their 12th big game. Josh McDaniels talking to Drake Maye in the middle of the fourth quarter in a suddenly snowy and power field a mile high in the football sky. And Mego, as we kick things off here on the latest and always greatest 6 Rings and Football Things, it's something like that that gives me hope in a game where the world is picking the Seahawks. The Pats are a 4.5-point dog. Everyone is giving everyone every reason why with this random stat and that funny factoid that things are not going to go the way of the Patriots. And yet, when I hear and see the brain trust in operation like that, the Kraft is the one who hired McDaniels. There's no way Vrabel wanted him. Oh, come on. What an uninspired pick for coordinator. The work he has done. I was just emulating the voice of a bunch of jackass Pats fans and other people who may or may not be in the local media, even who were not too thrilled with the hire. Didn't call it very inspiring. It's their work together, above all, that I think gives the Patriots, with all due respect to Mike Vrabel and the incredible work he's done in each and every player on this team, it's that right there that gives me the best hope that this is going to be a game that no matter what the Seahawks throw at them with Mike McDonald's fancy all-time DVOA defense, that they're going to have a chance and that this is going to be one hell of a game.
Well, who's more experienced in the Super Bowl than Josh McDaniels?
Literally, nobody, I think.
Vrabel has the unique player perspective, but on your coaching staff, Josh McDaniels is probably the guy that you want in this spot, especially when it's interesting that Fitzy, to me, that you cite that side of the ball as being what makes you bullish about the Patriots' opportunity in the Super Bowl, because the offense has not been the same offense that you saw in the regular season. Aside from Drake Maye and whether he is going to be hampered by the shoulder injury that we now know that he's definitely dealing with, it's a different Ramondre Stevenson. It's a different run game. Your line is a little banged up. It's even just seemingly like a different strategy that they're bringing into games. And so I'm curious, aside from Josh McDaniels' great mind, in my opinion, and all the experience that he's had in this game over others who are going to be there on that Sunday. What is it that makes you bullish about the offense right now? Because if anything, I'm going I haven't seen the same guys for, almost a month now.
No, who they've been is the guys that figure out a way to do just enough to get the job done. Drake has not played. I think he's 44 for 70, 43 for 77. He's got more turnovers than touchdowns. It's about I think they're about the same as one another. Obviously put the ball on the carpet way too much. Didn't turn the ball over against the Broncos, thank God. But yeah, you haven't seen a second half against the Browns type performance. You haven't seen the guy who each and every week found a new way to light up Twitter for something we'd have to recount on the Six Rings post-game show. Like, oh my God, Drake Maye is the first quarterback ever to throw for 85% completion percentage with over 250 yards passing, 2+ touchdowns, and 50 yards on the ground. Like each and every week, there was always something unique, anomalous, and spectacular. Hasn't been the case at all because
Yeah.
you're going up against these great defenses. And now here comes the challenge of a top-ranked offense and a top-ranked defense combined on a neutral field with, as we were discussing right before we went live, good weather, which he hasn't dealt with in over a month.
Which will probably work to his benefit, right? That's something
Yeah.
that when we talked to Travion Henderson the other day, he said he was looking forward to trying to run on a field that was not covered in snow, or snow in his line of vision. I look at it as a little bit like through the regular season, and I'm
Mhm.
not saying this to be disrespectful, but game to game, the formula was the offense was an A plus plus
Mhm.
most weeks. Special teams was a B plus.
Mhm.
And then defense was like sometimes a C minus. You
Yeah.
know,
Because
like
they would give
they
up
would
an
give
opening
up a huge
touchdown.
play at the beginning,
Yep.
and the run defense was great. But even then, when you lost Milton Williams, it was like, well, was that okay? So that was the run defense. Now in the playoffs, it's kind of like B's across the board, and with the offense, sometimes like a B minus C plus. So it just is a different team than what you had success with in the regular season. And from the offensive perspective, you're going to be going up against another top ranked defense. And that's, certainly got this isn't happening in a silo. That has a
Mm.
lot to do with why the offense has looked the way it has over the last couple games. I'm just curious with the nice weather conditions, hopefully with your quarterback feeling healthier than he does today. Like, do
Mhm.
we see more of the McDaniels offense that we saw during the regular season?
I think we do, and I was just thinking about that. I was listening to a podcast earlier this morning, and the host pointed out, like, hey, regardless of how we feel about the way Drake and the offense have performed over the past month, they haven't played in pleasant conditions since like Thanksgiving. Like the regular season finale, like the regular season finale, they go to the Jets. It's ice. Actually, they were dynamite against the Jets, but it was still freezing cold that day. But it was the Jets, so that almost doesn't count. That was like beating your brother in Tecmo Bowl when you're 10 years older than him. Then you play the Dolphins. It was like 25 degrees, windy, and maritime that day. The playoffs have just been an Arctic slog, freezing against the Chargers. Then you've got the ultimate wintry mix against the Texans, and then you get gorgeous Rocky Mountain high day into like a nor'wester, or whatever they call the sudden storms that rip through the Rockies. Right? It was
Mountainer.
yeah, Norm Mountain, exactly. So, like, yeah, I think now, given that it's going to be on a neutral field, I think you were checking the weather before the pod, like mid 60s potentially, a little overcast.
Mhm.
Sounds great. So it actually almost removes all the variables. This may as well be in a dome, and now you get the best of what Seattle can do and bring versus the best of what New England can do and bring, which I just think it's going to make for a better game. We'll honestly see who's better coached, who's got the better QB, and who's got the greater will to win. Yeah, see, there we go. So current forecast. Yeah, okay, so that's good. I think it's going to be great. As far as let's get to the shoulder, and then we'll tell everybody what's going on next week. The shoulder issue. He addresses it with us a little bit on the afternoon show on WEI Monday. That makes the national news. Like Drake Maye says he can't guarantee that he wouldn't be limited over the next few weeks, but he's feeling good. I think it's bugging him, honestly. I think there's a lot on his plate right now. As you heard in that clip with Josh McDaniels, like he's in the snow, it's freezing cold, he's trying to get the win. Oh, this is hard. Oh crap. Well, it's about to get real harder because there's going to be so many demands on his time, and he's going to have the weight of the world and all the expectations on his shoulders. And one of those shoulders got card table folded and beach chair crunched late in the third quarter against Denver. You think it's bugging him a little bit more than he's letting on?
I definitely do. I mean, I don't I have the same information publicly as everybody else. So
Mhm.
that's just when I say definitely, like I think all indications are that this is something that happened against Denver, which
Yep.
kind of paints Mike Vrabel into a corner because in one answer he told us there were no particular injuries. I'm paraphrasing here, but indicating in the Denver game.
Right.
And then the other day, he says this is not something that Drake was dealing with before. So I
Mhm.
know the answer that Drake gave you guys was, "Oh, I think it's just something that builds up over how many weeks of football I've been playing, how much I'm throwing the ball." Well, that's not like an outright lie because of course the workload plays into it,
It's a
but
half
you're
truth, as they
right.
say.
Yeah, it's all gotta be taken as, like, lies by omission at the very least because, hey, you're not gonna sit here and be like, "Yeah, our quarterback is, like, on the verge of tears when he throws the ball." I'm not saying that's the case, but, like, they're
Mhm.
never gonna come out and say something like that. I think with Drake, the indication from practice yesterday was none of the quarterbacks were throwing the football, which is
Yeah.
fine. I mean,
Yeah.
we get to see like 10 minutes of what they do in practice, and it's pretty much stretching for the bulk of it. Maybe some individual drills that really don't indicate much.
Mhm.
Um, and I do think it's probably bugging him a decent amount. A lot of people are citing the great throw that he made off the flea flicker
Mhm.
immediately after the play to say, "Well, look, like if he was so banged up, how does he make that throw?" I would just say I don't think the issue is whether or not he can chuck the ball. It's his pain tolerance from my guess
Mhm.
and whether he can do that consistently over an entire game. And
How did
so,
he throw
it's
that
one
ball?
game.
Yeah, it's one game. It's one game he's gotta get through, and it's a longer game with the long halftime and all the sights, sounds, and spectacles. How does he make that throw? Um, TOUGH and ADRENALINE. Toughness and adrenaline. That's
Yeah.
exactly how he makes that throw. We've all done something where we've gotten hurt. It stings, it sears in the moment. Then you play through, you gut it out, and then either that night or the next morning, you're like, "Holy shnikes, whoa, that hurts way more than I remember."
And
That's
sometimes
probably where he's at right now. "Oh,
yeah, think
oh, he's
about
texting with his left hand. His right shoulder must be broken." Easy, internet doctors. Thank you.
But think about how often, even just regular life, you get injured. Maybe you unfortunately have like slipped on the ice or something, and you go
Mhm,
down, and your immediate reaction for the next 20 minutes is, I'm okay. No, like I'm fine. I'm shaken up. I'm good." And then the next morning you wake up and you're like, "Holy crap! Like, did I get hit by a truck?" And times that by I don't know 20, and that's probably what he's going through over the next 2 weeks.
mhm. Yeah, I think in the end, it'll probably be maybe not a non-story, but not as big a factor as everyone is making it out to be right now. Drake did take to the podium earlier this week and addressed matters as well. Everybody was thrilled with his composure. Sounds like he's ready for the moment. I love the fact that he talked about, the Super Bowl is always a party, and now they get to go out there and we're the party now. Like, his incidental sound bites are just absolutely spectacular. And everybody get ready for all the Ann Michael May and Lady Bakesmith you can possibly handle. Cooking segments on the Today Show, more stuff on NBC Sports Boston. It's going to be bananas. But sounds to me like he's ready to handle the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling good. Got out there moving around a good bit today, and I was able to do some of the jog through, so feeling good, and looking forward to be ready to go. And this is the game you dream of playing in, so looking forward to getting out there and getting a chance to play in the Super Bowl.
Nothing's going to stop this kid right now.
No, and not even me jumping into the cliff right before.
Oh, were you right? Was that your question?
No, no, no.
Mego!
I was jumping in. I'm saying when you were pitching the clip,
Oh,
I jumped on it a little bit. One fun angle that I'm working on is there are a couple of Washington State natives in the Patriots locker room, and they were in the prime football fandom age range, which I usually put between like 11 and 17.
mhm.
That's look, some people like us, we never grow out of our sports obsessions, but I think for most people that's the sweet spot of like I am living and dying and crying with every team loss. Um, Jack Westover and of course Efton Chisholm III are both from Washington State.
Wait, didn't
And
Kyle
so
Williams play college ball at Washington
right,
State
but
too?
these 2 guys grew up as Seattle fans, and I talked
Oh,
to
holy
them for
smokes.
something I'm running next week about their memories of Super Bowl 49 when they were Seahawks fans, and of course, what happened with the Malcolm Butler play in that Super Bowl, and it's just really funny the perspective you talk about being at a Super Bowl party, everybody celebrating it, and then actually being the guy on the field, and they just have a really fun perspective coming from we were Seahawks fans growing up, and that was like a horrible, devastating loss for us. And now we're going back and playing the Seahawks, and we're Patriots.
It's so, wow, what a surreal angle to things. Yeah, I mean, it's so so funny how people grow up a diehard fan of one team, and then ultimately they end up playing for another team that's a mortal lifetime rival or enemy of them, and then they could end up meeting up. I think also, one, I can't confirm this, but I full well expect Malcolm Butler to be the honorary captain, and if he isn't, then the whole notion of like trying to like bring up bad memories or make Seattle quote see ghosts is lost on the organization. So I think that would be a smart move by them. But as far as like the Super Bowl 49 rematch goes, when the Patriots played against the Giants in Super Bowl 46, there were more than enough Giants still on the team from Super Bowl 42 that it was a revenge game. There's nobody on like unless they unless Bobby Wagner were some, even though I know he's still in the NFL and played this past season for your favorite football team.
Yes.
Like unless Bobby Wagner were hanging around and it was the Bobby Wagner revenge game, then no, there's nobody really still left to make this a revenge game. It just happens to be 11 years later, the same two teams meet, and you have the Malcolm Butler memory and also everyone trying to troll the Seahawks because of Sam Darnold and seeing ghosts. But otherwise, different teams, different game.
Yeah, there's just fun threads within it. And again, of course, it's not like, oh, it's a rematch, it's a revenge game. The fans might feel that way, though. Like if you were a 14-year-old who was watching Super Bowl 49 and now you're back and you get to see your team in the Super Bowl again, and it's the freaking Patriots who nobody ever thought were supposed to be there this year, and people are still upset and outraged that they have them back in the Super Bowl. It is a fun matchup from that perspective.
Absolutely. Okay, so stay tuned, obviously, to me, to Mego, EEI, and everything else for all the information that you need to get pumped, primed, and ready for SB60. That's also something we wanted to get you guys in tune with. So what's going on next week and where's everybody going to be at? So Mego, you are, so for WEEI afternoons, they've got the Super Dude show with Greg Hill, Wiggy, and Big Ted. I'll be all over the dial afternoon. I'll be doing some middays. I'll be doing a couple spots at night with Arcand. I'll be putting out a new Six Rings every day. And what we hope is the last week of Six Rings. And yes, everybody that wanted to try to jump on the socials and remind me, oh, you guys might have to change the name of the podcast soon. We're ready for that. Yes, we'll even have production ready so that when we do the post-game show, if all things go according to plan or benefit the good people of New England and Pat's Nation, it'll be the Seven Rings post-game show.
And the sad thing is that I guess maybe it's a nice thing is that if the Patriots don't win, we donate that name, the podcast name, to podcasts in other countries. So if you're traveling internationally, you might get a Seven Rings podcast.
The children of Nicaragua wearing Six Rings and football things t-shirt.
No, Seven Rings. Oh, that's
Seven.
So
Seven
funny.
Rings. Oh, that's
Seven
super
Rings
funny.
that wasn't yet.
And we can donate Six Rings to like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if things go according to plan. So we'll see about that. And yes, folks that are watching live on the WEEI and Fitzy GFY socials as we record, it was nobody wanted to have to deal with all the Belichick stuff this week, but I will say that quite honestly, in the end, now that we're like through the initial outrage of the first 48 hours or so, it did kind of distract us just enough from like the slog. Like there's the first 2 days where you're like, hooray, they're in the Super Bowl. And then you're like, what do I do with myself now? Because it's not really Super Bowl week. We had something to discuss.
Oh, it's a godsend.
It was a content godsend, right? Yeah.
It's crazy, but it was a godsend.
Yes. And now we can start laser focusing on, okay, people are going to start traveling this weekend and the Super Bowl machine, football Mardi Gras, is going to start getting in place. So, Mego, where are you going to be at? What are you going to be up to? And what can people look forward to from your perspective next week?
So I'm going to be out in San Francisco starting on Monday. So I'll have coverage for the media night, Monday night. That's when everybody talks. It's a big extravaganza. And then I'll be going to practice or whatever availability of practice, whether that's just media availabilities and interviews, TBD, every day that they are out there. And then I'll be helping out on Radio Row and jumping in on spots with all of our shows, I'm sure, and getting as much content as possible. And of course, podcasting with you for 6/TBD 7 Rings.
People are already asking, like, Mego, did you vote for Belichick in the Hall of Fame? Mego,
I don't have a vote. What are you, crazy? I don't
I
have
know.
a vote.
Mego, are you? Wait, people are asking if you're going to pick the Seahawks. We're not. First of all, we're not revealing our picks. I do have to reveal my pick later on in the afternoon show since I won't be on afternoons next week. You will be joining me next week once we get some Seattle media, and we've got some really good Seahawks podcast people lined up for next week as well, so that people in Pats Nation know more than just like, yeah, I hear the defense is good. There's that wide receiver from Ohio State whose name I can't pronounce. He's supposed to be awesome. And I think Sam Darnold is a joke. Yeah, we're going to try to help you get to know the entirety of this team because they're an all-time DVOA powerhouse, according to all of the football nerds and
Ooh,
wizards.
DVOA.
DVOA.
Can I take a moment, because occasionally people ask me,
Mhm.
why don't you go back to DC? You've been up here for a while. Don't you ever want to go back to Maryland and cover like the teams that you grew up with? And I gotta say, Fitzy, I've been
Mhm.
covering this Patriots team since 2017.
Mhm.
Um, I did not get to go to the 2018 Super Bowl because of the outlet that I was working for there. Only
Mhm.
had a budget to send a certain amount of people, and I was low man on the totem pole, low woman. But since then, I have gotten to cover a 2018 World Series. I got to
Mhm.
cover the 2019 Stanley Cup Finals, and I got to cover both the 22 finals that the Celtics
Mhm.
lost and then the ultimate finals that they won. So I'm finally going to the Super Bowl, which means I'm going to have all four sports within the time frame of 9 years to cover
Less than a
less
decade.
than a decade, a championship for every single team. And I would have had it a couple of years before if I had gotten to go to the 2018 Super Bowl, but that's a
Right.
story for another day.
Yeah, people people keep asking me like, "Aren't you so excited about this Super Bowl, Fitzy? This is the greatest." I was listening that same podcast. It was Bill Simmons and Joe House, also a DC fan, and Kevin Wildes, who I love on the Fox show with what's his name, Nick Wright, and Chris Broussard, and they were going over like, where would this one potentially rank for you? And they were saying like, well, because my kids are involved, this could be the second or third most exciting and fulfilling Super Bowl if they win and whatnot. I got to be honest, like nothing will ever touch the Brady years for me. That's what it meant to me as a kid, watching the Patriots flounder and futz around for so long, and then watching them become so dominant. Nothing will ever top 2001. No game will give the unbelievable joy that Super Bowl 51 brought forth. Nothing ever will take. I don't think I'll ever be able to, as a sports fan, go from outhouse to penthouse quite like I did at the end of Super Bowl 49 11 years ago. So it's different for me. I'm enjoying this mostly like through my kids' eyes. Like
Yeah.
now that my kids are more into it, and my son is excited to watch the Super Bowl in its entirety and not fall asleep. And he wants Drake Maye to win so he can go to the school the next day in a Drake Maye jersey and show it off and tell all of his friends that he's a Pats fan and Drake Maye's dominant. And my dad asked him a question on the radio once and he told me to go Pats and all that jazz. Like, that's the fun for me now. I have lived enough lifetimes of joy and Super Bowl fun and relevance thanks to Belichick and Brady and Brewski and Butler and all the great B's of Pats Nation. Like, this is fun, but like, I wish I was able to go out there next week as well. Super Bowl 53, I got to host the rally at the stadium. 40,000 frozen Foxborough football fans was incredible. Got to ride on a duck boat later on. Like, all my football bucket list items have been checked. So this is just more like big game gravy train for me.
Absolutely. But I will say, like, thank goodness for your children, because I am of probably, if you think about dynasties or championships, like, I probably grew up in a similar fashion to your oldest did, where it's like, yeah, when I was really little, like way too little to understand what was going on in 92,
Mm-hmm.
you get a Redskins Super Bowl. And what I remember after that were the years after that, when it was still like this idea of this glory, and then it faded, and then it really faded, and then it got really bad, and they've never gotten back. So it's so nice for your kids that they don't have to live through decades of wandering the desert
Finally,
that
I
way.
know
This
the
long
second
wait.
graders. Oh, the 7-year-olds, the 8-year-old that'll finally be able to add to their selective memory. The Patriots in a Super. This is funny. Jake Smith, a regular here, good man and Pats fan. My daughter, her favorite player is Booty for obvious reasons. Okay, that's
Love
fine.
that.
I love that. This is a great point too from AFR Steve. What's up, Medfield? I'll enjoy another ring, but I don't know if anything will ever top 28-3. That's the thing. Like nothing
Fair.
probably will. Nothing has to. Just let this be whatever it is unto itself. The ultimate first world football problem. Where does this one rank against all the other Super Bowls I've enjoyed in my adult life? Oh my God. I understand why 31 other franchises would want to choke us out and kick our ass, but that's just their issue and not ours. It also can't be lost, Mego. Can we just take a moment, but as we wrap up here, just to thoughts and prayers to Jets fans. I mean, my God, for being a Jets fan, number one, and number two, I mean, you want to talk about wandering the desert and living in emotional Antarctica. You have to watch the quarterback you drafted, who was supposed to be your savior, now actually all built up to be a plus level starting quarterback in a Super Bowl against the team that has oppressed you for decades.
I got to think that that's kind of like a Ray Bork Bruins situation where they must be just so pissed off that there have to be some Jets fans who go like, well, I want Darnold to win out there for him because,
Mhm.
he had bad moments with the Jets. But to me, that always felt more akin to like, I don't know, kind of like a Mac Jones situation as it was here for his final 2 years here, where like they don't take care of quarterbacks. They don't seem to have much interest in developing them. It's probably between them and the Browns, like the worst situation that you can go to in the
Ugh.
league if you're a quarterback getting drafted.
Yeah. Chad Moore, great perspective. I'm just enjoying the moment. It's different than before, and I'm not nervous. I'm excited to be in the Super Bowl. That's a great perspective. Thank you, Kenny Tasney. Yes, I do have the perspective and appreciation. I went from making videos on YouTube to riding on duck boats and going to Super Bowls. Well, that's very kind of you to say that, Kenny. I appreciate that very much.
Uh,
Um,
can I
yes.
just shout out, I hope I'm not misattributing Ben Volen of the Globe with the greatest question of the week that I've heard in a Vrabel press conference. He's trying to get Vrabel to describe how he's feeling, and he's, being Vrabel, he's not really biting. And he's like, "Are
Mm.
you excited?" And Vrabel goes, "Am I excited to coach the Super Bowl?"
How is it that Volan is able to get Vrabel to say the funniest things? Wasn't he the one who was also
Because
like,
it's a
I already
ridiculous
had,
question.
but
Are
didn't he
you
also like,
excited to
he asked
coach
the
the
question
Super
that was
Bowl?
like, yeah, earlier in the season, didn't he's like, maybe if you, yeah, I answered that question 5 minutes ago. Maybe if you weren't tweeting or had
Happens
your
to
head.
all of us. But yeah, it was just a fantastic early moment in these 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. Now I know it's less than 2 weeks, but I'm just living week by week over here as
Yeah.
everybody else in the NFL season.
Enjoy it, appreciate it. Other fan bases and franchises. Good old Troll and Volan. Yeah, man. You just, you don't know if like, I call it Club Marino for a reason because Dan Marino in his second season went to the Super Bowl, lost to Joe Montana and the 49ers, and everyone kept saying like, don't worry about it. He'll be back. I mean, he's so good. Never made it back.
Yeah.
You don't know if Drake May, everyone's going to tell you he could win another MVP. It's okay if he loses to Stafford. They'll be back in the Super. Like we do believe, Mego, that this team has the setup, the talent, the knowledge, and the infrastructure to be relevant, if not dominant, for years to come. Look how great they've been together in the first year. Vrabel also went to an AFC championship early on with the Titans, and then once had a season where he lost the final 7 and went from a 1 seed to out of the playoffs. So just enjoy the ride for whatever it is. You've been bathed in the luxuries of Super Bowls and dominance for so long. You're back. You've got a good football team. 31 other fan bases would tell you it doesn't get much better than this.
Yep. Still waiting to get back for some of us. Still waiting.
You'll
Okay.
be there.
I have a dream of a Drake May, Jaden Daniels Super Bowl. I think
Yeah.
that would just be it has to happen at some point.
I think it would be awesome, and it's great too. Hey, America is celebrating her 250th this year. God bless her. She doesn't look a day over 225. And the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. You can't ask for much more than that. All right, folks, don't forget, Mego's going to be bringing you stuff from Media Night, from Radio Row, from all over the Bay Area in high anticipation of Super Bowl 60. I'll be doing daily Six Rings podcast next week, as well as chipping in with a little half-ass radio, middays, night times, wherever I can get myself in front of a mic. I'll be putting out daily videos as well on the old @FitzyGFY Instagram and TikToks as well. A new Pats fan video next week with my crew on the South Shore, which is going to be a ton of fun to make. Like, I just love being able to make content also that people want. Like, you get to go to press conferences that people want to listen to. I get to make silly internet videos that people want to watch because they just can't get enough. Like, that's That's the childlike joy for me right now. So I hope travel safe. Have a
Thank
great
you.
time, Mego. I'm looking forward to the Behind Enemy Lines. We get to do it one more time, hopefully as Six Rings, and then we'll maybe if the fates and fortunes align, we'll have to rebrand afterwards.
And if not, you'll know where to find the podcast.
The 7 Rings shirts will be on the children of Nicaragua and the Ukraine. All
Yes.
right, folks, wish her well. Make sure you give her a follow at Megan_Ottolini. This is your old pal, the original Misfit Toy, Pats fan and football stan at Fitzy GFY. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will talk to you soon. As always, good day. God bless.